Hey kids, we're still talking about dinosaurs today and what happened to them during the flood. Get ready. So what does creation have to do with the flood?
I was kind of wondering that myself.
Well, it really had more to do with the proof that it happened and that dinosaurs were around when it did.
Wait, what flood?
Haven't you heard of the Great Flood, like when Noah built the ark?
Well, yeah, kinda, but I may need a bit of a refresher because I didn't know anything about dinosaurs being on the ark.
Well, you remember last week when we talked about how God created dinosaurs and how Job wrote about them, calling them behemoth?
Yeah, but you said we were gonna talk about a great flood. I'm confused.
Okay, so there was a time in our history that everyone, and I mean everyone, was evil except for Noah and his family.
Everyone? Like, everyone?
Yeah, it's sad really, but God was sick of all the wickedness and told Noah and his family that they would be saved if they built a really, really giant boat made of cypress wood.
Then what happened?
Well, Noah did what God told him to, and he built the ark, or boat as we call it.
And then what?
Well, he told Noah that 2 kinds of every animal would come to him and board the ark.
Are you saying 2 kinds of every animal joined Noah and his family on the ark? That sounds impossible.
I know, but remember, it was a huge ark. And if you think about it, Noah probably took young animals on the ark with him because older ones wouldn't live as long afterward and they would take up way more space.
Good point. I never thought of it that way. Noah probably did take smaller young animals.
And we are certain he did. And God said kinds of animals, so Noah didn't take all different types of cats. He took one type of cat, one type of bird, one type of fish. And he also took dinosaurs.
Impossible! Dinosaurs weren't on the ark. They just couldn't be.
We have reason to believe they were. First of all, most dinosaurs weren't giant, and all the young ones started out small anyway. And their eggs were never larger than a football.
Their eggs weren't bigger than a football? Even the T-Rex and Brontosaurus?
Yup.
So, it really was possible that Noah brought them on the ark. Because if they came out of something the size of a football, that's not very big.
What? They just couldn't be on there. But they sure grew to be big, like giant.
That's true too, but remember what dinosaur means. It means terrible lizard or reptile. Before the flood, people lived way, way longer, like hundreds of years. But God changed all of that after the flood, and he changed animals' lives too.
Okay, but what does that have to do with them being so big?
Remember, most weren't very big. Many were actually the size of sheep, but reptiles actually never stopped growing. So the longer they live, the bigger they grew.
Oh, wow! It's all making sense now!
So how did all the water cover the whole earth? That must have taken like forever. I mean, for it to rain that much and cover the globe?
Actually, it says in Genesis 7:11, where you'll find the story of Noah's Ark, that water came down from above, but also from below. In fact, it says that all the underground waters erupted from the earth, and rain fell in mighty torrents from the sky.
So, water came up from below?
Well, you ever seen a picture of the world?
Yeah, of course.
You ever notice how all the continents seem like they could fit together in a puzzle?
Isn't that called Pangea or something like that?
That's one of the names the scientists call it. We call it the supercontinent. The waters that came up from the earth broke apart the supercontinent and made it the continents that we live on now. It happened very quickly. They moved fast.
So, what happened to all the other animals and dinosaurs?
Well, they all died if they weren't on the ark.
Wow! God really was upset.
He was because of all the evil in the world, but he was also sad because so many died. And after about a year, the floodwaters went away.
About a whole year?
Yep, after almost a whole year, God put a rainbow in the sky as a promise that he would never flood the earth like that again.
Rainbows are my favorite.
Mine too, Gareth. But a lot of regular scientists don't even think the flood happened at all.
What? Why?
Because they say rock and sediment can only be formed over millions of years. Unfortunately, that just isn't correct, and they're wrong.
How do you know they're wrong?
Well, I'll tell you why we know this. We know this because 1, no one has actually witnessed the formation of early rocks. And 2, when a catastrophic event happens, say a global flood, sediment layers can actually be laid rather quickly, as we saw with the catastrophic explosion of Mount St. Helens in 1980.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's too bad more people don't know the truth about the Bible. But the good news is that is where you kids come in. You know the truth, and you can share it with others. So be brave, be bold, and remember, if you ever have any questions about this stuff, just ask.